All right, this video is going to be on the volume of cones. In the instructions, it says we're going to find the volume around the nearest tenth. I want you to add and exact. We're going to go ahead and put it in terms of pi as well, just like we did with the cylinders and just like we did with surface area. So when we look at the formula, as we saw on the first page of our notes, pyramid and cone is going to be area base times height over 3. What I like to do with this, since big B is always going to be a set formula, is whenever I write out my formula, I'm going to go ahead and replace big B with the formula of area of, the base is a circle. So we're going to replace this pi r squared. So what we need in here is radius and height. So here we go look at what our radius is. They've given us our diameter. We want just the radius. So the diameter is 10.2. We don't want it. We need to take half of that as 5.1. And then our height is always going to be perpendicular. Height is always perpendicular no matter what shapes you're dealing with. So here from the vertex straight down perpendicular to the base, our height is 7.3. So now with our altered formula here, we're going to go ahead and plug in. We have the volume is going to be equal to, in the numerator, we have pi times r squared times h. So here's pi r squared, so 5.1 squared, times the h of 7.3. Do not forget, this is all over 3. When we plug this into the calculator, when we are looking at putting it in terms of pi or exact, this is what you plug into the calculator. If you want to do the control divide or the fraction function, you can go ahead and plug it all in at once, making sure that we have 5.1 is squared times 7.3 and 3 in the denominator. When we do that, we're going to get 63.3, and now we bring that pi back. If we plug it all into the calculator with pi, rounded to the nearest tenth, we're going to have 198.8. We have inches, and we are at volume, so we have inches cubed. All right, let's look at number 5 here. They're giving us our radius, so we have it right off the bat. Radius is going to be 10. We do not have the height. We need to go and find the height. So remembering that height is perpendicular with the radius, we can take this triangle off to the side, and we're going to be looking for height. We have 10. And what we need to notice here is the 26 is on the right side, but it's on the left side also. This is going to be 26 inches. So here our hypotenuse is 26. So we'll set up our Pythagorean theorem. Our height squared plus 10 squared equals 26 squared. Square them. Then we subtract. This isn't the neatest, and I apologize. And then we take the square root. We're going to find out that the height is 24. And plug that in over here. And now we can take a look at our volume formula. Big B times height over 3. I'm going to replace big B with pi r squared. So in the numerator, we have pi r squared, which would be the 10 squared, times the height of 24, all over 3. Exact volume, plugging that in, what you see, 10 squared times 24, all over 3. We're going to wind up with 800 pi. Rounded to the nearest tenth, plugging pi into the calculator exactly what's here, we're going to get 2,513.3 inches cubed. So let's take a look at working backwards now. We're going to find the radius, so r is going to be missing, and we have the height in here as the 8 yards. So we're going to find r, and here, sorry, h is going to be 8. And then here we have the volume. So in our formula, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this volume. We'll start off with big BH since that's what it gives us. big BH over 3. When we cancel this out with pi r squared, I'm going to rewrite it so that it's easier for me to do my substitution. So now we have pi r squared h over 3. So let's take a look at what we need to do. We're going to plug in for volume, which was the 24 pi. And this will equal, we've got pi. We're looking for radius, so r squared times that height of 8, all over 3. So we're going to get rid of the 3 in the denominator first. How we're going to do this is set 24 pi into a fraction so that we can now cross multiply. When we cross multiply, doesn't matter which one goes on which side. I'm just going to go ahead and place this one over here as, so I will have pi r squared times 8. Okay, remember we're just multiplying by 1, so we're just copying it down here. When we multiply the other side, the pi is going to come down. The 24 and the 3 will be multiplied to get 72. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to divide each side by both the 8 and the pi so we can start getting r by itself. I'm going to get 2 birds with 1 stone here. When I divide both sides, here's the pi and the 8, so they cancel, but we need to make sure that we bring over the pi and the 8 over here, and I just switch the places, that way they're under, the pi is underneath. So now we have r squared, 72 divided by 8 is going to give us 9. When we take the square root, that last step, we're going to find out that our radius is 3 yards. All right, number 7, the final one here. Fran is going to pour concrete into a mold that makes an outdoor vase. The center of the vase mold is an empty cone to allow for a bouquet of flowers to sit in the vase. We're going to find the volume of the concrete that Fran needs to pour. So what this is going to be, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. What we're doing is we're taking a concrete cube. It's a cube because all edges are going to be the same. And we are cutting out or removing the cone. So we're cutting out or removing means subtracting. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take the volume of a cube and we're going to subtract the volume of the cone. And this will get us our total. And each one of these, we want each one separately. The volume of the cube is just going to be area of the base times the height, just like any prism. And the big B, okay, the base is 6 by 6. So big B is just going to be 6 times 6. And that will give us 36. And the height is also 6. Then we multiply 36 times 6 to get 216. So the cube's volume, 216 centimeters cubed. Your volume for the cones we just looked at, we've got big B times h over 3. I'm going to go ahead and replace, just like I did the previous problems, this with pi r squared, what big B's formula will be in this case. So now we plug in, we have pi times the radius. Diameter is 4. Okay, this is the diameter. We need the radius of 2. So pi times 2 squared times the height. The height of the cone will be the exact same as the height of the prism. All over 3. And since we are going to be rounding this to the nearest tenth, we'll go ahead and plug in pi. We won't worry about exact. And this is going to become 25.1. And then to find the total, we're going to take 216 and we're going to subtract that 25.1 to get 190.9 centimeters cubed.